Hi, this is Everett from Everett's Watercolors. Welcome to my classroom. Well, today is another Fun with Watercolors video, in which I'm going to do a snow scene and with some stars in the sky. And I call it Starry Night. So come over to my painting table. Let me show you my supplies. There's also a downloadable sketch that you can download from my website and paint along with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be notified of future videos coming down the road. So let's go over to my painting table and get started. Okay, I'm going to go over my supplies and show you how we're going to get started here. Now this is a sketch that I have, and let me bring it up closer for you. You can see there's a star up here in the sky. There'll be a lot of stars in the sky when we're finished, and there's a little hill, snow hill, and some trees. So that's the sketch you can download from my website and paint along. The palette I have laid out here, I got my 1/2 inch natural hair brush, also my 3/4 inch silver natural hair brush, and a number 14 round designer round brush. Those are the three brushes I'm going to use. And the colors I'm going to use, I'm going to pick up a little bit of royal blue, maybe some ultramarine blue for the sky, and then I have some permanent yellow lemon, which I'll use also in the star. And over here I got the Hooker's Green, which I'll use for some of the trees. And maybe a little bit of blue here also I'm going to put in for the snow. Now also a special color I'm going to use is Chinese white. This is Chinese white. I don't use it very often, but in a snow scene like this I'm going to use it. And along with that I'm going to have a toothbrush. This is the baby toothbrush which I use to splatter the white paint. So you'll see that in action. Okay, so let's get me started here. First thing I'm going to do is mix up some of that dark color. So I'll go over here and pick up some of that royal blue, really dark color. Maybe some ultramarine. And then while I'm here, I'll pick up some of that Hooker's Green. These are the dark colors we'll have. And I'm going to also, in the painting, I'm also going to use a little bit of permanent yellow lemon. So I'll put those are the main colors we're going to use in the painting today. Oh, so to get started, on the diagram, I have this star over here, and what you got to do is be very careful when you put the paint in there. And what I'm going to do is I'll take a smaller brush. I'll use the 1/2 inch brush. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put the dark color around that star, and you'll see that in the diagram when you download it. Now I'm painting around that shape with the flat brush. This is the 1/2 inch flat brush, and I'm using square marks here, using the edge of the brush, corners of the brush, sides of the brush. Picking up a lot of that dark paint, which is royal blue, and mixed in with a little bit of ultramarine. Whatever your darkest blue is, because you want a dark night sky, so you want to use a dark color. Don't want to use black. Black is too dull. You want to use color. So I'm using a dark blue, which is a lot more entertaining and more interesting. And we've got this long piece here. This is probably take you the longest time, is to move this because you want to be careful to get around that shape, because that's the real part of the painting that makes it a little dramatic. So you take your time going around this shape. Okay, but once you get that in, once you get that in, I take the bigger brush now with the same color, the royal blue, and I can go ahead and put in larger strokes and color in that sky. And this dark color will be the dark sky, which will later will put stars in there, and you'll see that happen when we get down to the end. And as I go down here now, I'm going to go pick up some more of that real dark blue, and now I just follow the shape that I've drawn in, which is the slope of this hill. Now over here on this side is more of the hill, but then I've got these trees over here, and I'm going to use a smaller brush again. I'm going to make sure I leave some of the white paper showing, because this could be snow on top of the tree, the limbs of the tree. Okay. Now I'm even going to pick up, I'm going to use the little small brush now. I'm using the round brush with the dark blue, because I want to go into those branches and make these a little more defined. So for close work, I use a round brush. Go in between these branches, make them a little more defined. Okay. And then you want to check the colors to see if it's dark enough. And I think what I'll do is, while I'm here, while it's still wet, I'm going to go ahead and add some more color. I really want to make that sky really dark. So pick up more of that color and even repaint it over top of what you have there. Make it nice and dark. You want it as dark as you can get it with that dark blue, especially around this object, or this big star over here. We want that to be really dark around it. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some more color on top. And while the paint is still wet, it's easy to put the color in. It spreads very nicely. Even flow. The secret about watercolors, you want to keep the paper with the same moisture, so you don't want to build any blossoms or any bad marks. You want to keep the water constantly, what I would say, constant wetness on the paper. That prevents any blossoms or any marks happening on your paper as you're painting. So I'm repainting all these areas that I did before with fresh paint. Come back over now. I've made that. I really added 2 layers of dark on this to make it really dark, real dark sky. And that's really wet now, so what I've got to do is let that dry. Okay, we got that one dry. Make sure it's nice and dry. Test it with the back of your hand and make sure that the paint is dry. I test my paint here. I put it on the plain paper side and then touch it against the paint side, and it should feel cool. With my Hooker's green, I'm not going to use the big brush anymore, and this is a 3/4 brush. It's only for the sky part. The little number 6 round, and this is a number 14 there, but any round brush is fine. Comes to a nice fine point. Mixing up that green, and I'm going to go over here now and put the evergreen trees in, and I'm going to leave some white paper because you're going to have snow on top of this tree. So I'm going to leave some of the white paper showing to indicate that there's snow on top of these branches. So use a dark, this is a dark Hooker's green, because this is also in the nighttime, so it would be in shadow dark also. So by using a small brush, and you want to leave what, let's just say, leave the white paper, not just by leaving the white paper on the edges of the tree will show or indicate that could possibly be snow. And we're going to have snow on the ground, we're going to have snow in the trees. So leave that white paper to indicate that we got snow on the tree trunks or on the tree limbs, okay? Now we'll rinse that brush out. And also, while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to work over here on the star, this big star. I'm going to take some of that yellow lemon, permanent yellow lemon, and I'll pick up fresh paint. And I'm going to put a little bit of yellow, lemon yellow on the outside of this star. I'm going to leave the inside of the star white because that's the lightest and brightest part. And then on the edges of the star, I'm going to add just a little bit of yellow and make that star glow. So there's a little yellow that I put on the star edges. Is I'm going to take that dark blue, take my sponge, wipe up that dark blue. So when I mix a new color, I need room on my palette. I take the sponge and wipe that away, and then I rinse out my brush real good. I'm going to change color. In this case, that dark blue, I'm going to come in and I'm going to get a little bit of lighter blue. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint the shadows on the snow. And those will indicate little hills, little valleys. You see up a light green, a light blue. And what I'm going to do now is just going to paint across here and leave the indications of a snowdrift. Now a snowdrift, I'm going to paint, you're going to leave some white paper showing. And I'm going to make sure these shapes, these shadow shapes, are all different. Some are large, some are smaller. And I make sure the spaces in between are different. So it's like anything in art, you want to make a variety of those shapes. And here I can continue this one on down. So I'm building the impression. The impression here is of the snow. And these are the shadows on the snow. And I'm making them all different sizes. Large, medium, and small. Okay, I noticed on the next video I was doing that you didn't really see the colors showing, but let me come a little closer. See, I added blue there to give a shadow. Now I'm going to add another layer to darken those up a little bit. So pick up the same blue, which is cerulean blue or cobalt blue with a lot of water, and then I can go in and add in a little shadow. add in some more shadow into that blue. Okay, the final step, I'm going to add some stars to the sky. So again, I'll wipe out the palette. And then I'm going to bring in my Chinese white paint, Chinese white watercolor paint. And I'm going to put just, you don't need much, just a little bit there on the palette. And I'm going to add a little bit of water to that. And then using a baby toothbrush, just load up the paint. You load the paint on the brush. And you can practice it here on the palette. But what you're going to do is you're going to spray. You're going to take the finger and you're going to spray it against. See my finger just touching bristles. And you can see the splatter here on the palette. But I'm going to do it on the actual painting now. This will look like as I do this, you'll see the stars appear in the sky. Might have to load it up a couple times with fresh paint. And then I'll bring it up closer so you can see that. See the effect of the stars in the sky? All right. My hands are all messy. Well, this is the final output of the painting. I put a mat around it, and you can see the starry sky and the snow drifts with a shadow pattern, and also that big, bright, beautiful star. So this was an interesting painting to do along with me. I'm working on a Facebook page where you'll be able to go on and download your art with me. So be on the lookout for my Facebook announcement so we can share your art and I can make some comments. So sign up to my YouTube channel so you can stay abreast of my next video coming down. And we'll see you for now. Have a nice day.